Welcome back to Healing Oaths. This is Brielle, and I'm here for this beautiful strawberry full moon on June the 14th, 2022. And I want to do a reading for this moon. And I know that this moon is all about overcoming our fears and any type of anything holding us backward, moving forward, and we're letting go of the things that are providing a block or creating a block for us in abundance in our lives. So I'm going to be using our Sacred Wealth Code, and this is by Prema Lee Guerreri, and our Divine Abundance Oracle cards by Tasha Silver to do a reading and look and see. I pick a card now. There'll be three choices, what we need to focus on and how we need to make sure that along with our moon manifestation, these are the things that we need to do to ensure that we have abundance coming into our lives and using this moon energy that we have now. And I hear that this time period from now until the end of I believe it's September will be a good time. But what you need to do is start working on it now. Remove the blockages and allow the abundance in. One of the things that I have done, as you can see, is being more visible so that I can have a better connection with everybody that I'm actually doing this for and providing these messages for. So we'll be doing this reading now, and I hope the information is able to assist you. It'll be a pick a card. Okay, let's see the messages of abundance we have for you that we can work with for the energies with this super full strawberry moon for June the 14th. We know that abundance is something that we all have a right to. We know that there's more than enough of everything in this entire world for everybody. So whatever type of abundance that you need, we have the energies available for you now. And according to astrology that I've been listening to, this is something that is going to be enduring and is really going to be effective. And we need to really do something. We have to work with it to be able to make something happen. We can't just be sitting around and waiting, okay? So let's get a message of abundance for everybody. We're going to do a pick a card. So I'm going to choose 3 cards. First from our Divine Abundance deck. And then we're going to choose the cards from our Sacred Wealth Code deck. So let's see what the message is, what the guides have to tell us, to assist us with this. And this is the first time I'm using this Sacred Wealth Code deck, so I'm going to make sure I shuffle it really well. As I always say, I'm not the best shuffler, but I'm trying my best so we can get a good message, a good clear message. And we know that the probability is that what we get is what we were meant to get. That's always good. Okay, here we go. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. So, which one are you more drawn to? Pile number 1 for your abundance message, pile number 2, or pile number 3? Take a deep breath, think about it. One moment, we will go ahead and start getting the messages. Okay, let's see. We have number 1 here, and the first card tells us, if you've chosen number 1, acceptance. Radical acceptance in the now opens the flow. So wherever you are with whatever you're doing, you need to accept it, right? Accept where you are now. Once you accept where you are now, you will be able to then move on. With this moon, the astrology is speaking about the fact that we need to let go of things, let go of fear, let go of things that are blockages, especially it sounds to me like things that are within us, right? So acceptance is number 1, the step to go in that direction. Number 2 is the teacher, Jupiter. Jupiter is all about abundance, so we know that's good. And it says to know is to grow. So knowledgeable, intelligent, growth-oriented, trustable, understanding, communicative, compassionate, prosperous, social, inspired, self-aware, generous, considerate, and virtuous. That's the second message we have for number one, or people who've chosen number one. And let's see further what the teacher is about. We'll look at the Sacred Wealth Code guidebook here, and we can see that the teacher is telling us, it says, the mantra is to know is to grow. The soul's desires to illuminate and artfully communicate knowledge which uplifts humanity. The purpose to be a conduit for learning, growth, and change in the world. Shadow is somebody who's arrogant, or if we're arrogant, we crave recognition, we're overconfident, manipulative, controlling, or a know-it-all. It says, as a teacher, if you've chosen number one, you're a creative communicator who believes that you know that to know is to grow. You're intelligent, kind, social, generous, and deeply dedicated to supporting others. And you recognize that you're the conduit for learning and growth, not the source of it. So you're just sharing what is out there with other people. You're not the one who is not your knowledge in originally. You have a unique ability to turn on the light bulb for others. And it's also awareness that people process information in different ways, and you're able to be creative and find a way to relate the information so that the students you have can absorb it, they can embody it, and they can make practical use of it. You're also a vivacious learner, and you have a wealth of knowledge to draw from. You attract new teaching opportunities because you follow your own passion, your own hunger, and what inspires you. And it says you're trusted and you can profit greatly through generously giving what you know to whomever needs it on or off the job. So what they also say here is to be careful of not remembering to put your oxygen mask on first. You need to practice good self-care because you can burn out from supporting others. So when you're stressed and attached to outcomes, you may have a tendency to control or manipulate others for your own benefit. This could be leading to arrogance, high and mighty ways of being, and things that are, not right. Actions that will ultimately cause you to fall from grace and lose the respect of others. If you find yourself in the shadow, what you need to do is make sure that you rejuvenate yourself by having a retreat, having some fun, reconnect with your source, okay? So we also know that the inspired action plan here is I align with higher knowledge to nourish and grow myself first, and then my unique genius of teaching to compassionately and generously serve others. So that's beautiful. So here we go. Accept who and where you are. So for this, I would say, accept that you're a teacher. Accept that you're knowledgeable. You know, the imposter syndrome that people speak about, this is what this sounds like to me. You're not, you're all you need to be able to share with others. You're knowledgeable enough. You've learned enough. You understand how to provide the information so that others can benefit from it. So forget all of that. Accept that you are the teacher. Go out and teach, right? Go out and teach. Do what you wanted, what you need to do based on your inspiration and your passion. So that's number one. Number two, we have love. It says divine source is the idea that no person, place, or thing is your salvation, only love itself. So not being stuck on a person or a situation, but actually just love for everyone, universal love. And it says the administrator here, which is Saturn, says, I walk with a foot in both the earthly and spiritual worlds, practical, grounded, persevering, wise, dedicated, strong, purposeful, leading, organized, structured, confident, strategic, assertive, disciplined, humanistic, and moral. So the administrator, the further message for the administrator for us is, I'll tell you now, mantra, I walk with a foot in both the earthly and spiritual worlds. The soul's desire to be grounded, social service-oriented leader who preserves and uplifts humanity. The purpose, that's the soul's desire, to be grounded, social service-oriented leader who preserves and uplifts humanity. The purpose, to responsibly lead and create practical systems and structures for the well-being of people, communities, and organizations. And the shadow is if you're an inner critic or you're over responsible or you have a limited viewpoint. The administrator is somebody who's grounded, persevering, and is tapped into the universal truth as a guiding principle. And the greatest purpose of this person is to organize energy into proper practical forms, and that is most positively serving humanity. It says also systems and structures are what you're dedicated to doing, and that the support and well-being of organizations and their people is something that you are also interested in. And you're somebody that can take risks, but you make sure they're calculated risks and designed, and you have a designed approach to implementing big ideas. So you're not somebody that goes in willy-nilly. You plan everything out, you have everything ready to go. And once you know that it's good, then you can move ahead. And it says also you're a powerful leader and an excellent entrepreneur. You have the superpower of implementing process-based action and are greatly respected for your innate ability to turn abstract concepts into practical action steps, and others can follow them to achieve what they want. You have the currency of both earthly and spiritual wisdom and confidently walk with a foot in both worlds. You have a democratic approach and put the needs of many before the needs of the one. You thrive when you have the rhythm and routine in your work and personal life. See, we spoke about universal love here. So love for everybody so that you're able to structure things for them and put things forward to them so that they can then succeed. Now, if you're in shadow, it says maybe when you're stressed, you've taken on too much work, you can slip into over responsibility. So you need to be clear on what you're responsible for, right? Don't do everything for everybody. You need to stay in integrity with yourself, because everybody and everything has limits, right? You need to make sure that you know what your limits are, right? And also, you need to make sure that if you have an overly limiting viewpoint, you find out what your obstacles are and the reasons why things are not happening. Don't whine, don't complain, right? Just go back and look at the big picture. And then you can see how your divine gifts can be used to make this thing happen. It says that your inspired action plan, so that you don't get overly sensitive and really focused on an outcome that has to be perfect, perfect, perfect. And it's really not possible, right? And then if you don't live up to it, then you have issues and problems further. It says your inspired action plan is I practice the spiritual art of detachment to remain balanced in my high value gifts and lead those around me in establishing systems and structures that practically uplift humanity. So it has to be practical, it has to be uplifting, and also we need to know our limits and make sure that we keep them. Don't overdo anything. But this is because we love everybody. This is universal love, and therefore we put things in place for people to succeed, for humanity to succeed. Structure. For the third, we have divine abundance. So the initial card, divine abundance, says you were born to align with love's will, follow the Tao, and serve something beyond the ego. Learn to be abundance, not chase it. So you need to just be in the flow. Abundance will come to you, will flow to you. You don't need to be chasing it. You need to be in the flow. The great nurturer is here, which is the moon. It says, I give and receive nourishment. Motherly, nurturing, devoted, loving, wise, empathetic. And I'm sorry, the administrator was Saturn. I give and receive nourishment here for the great nurturer, the moon. Motherly, nurturing, devoted, loving, wise, empathetic, compassionate, abundant, generous, receptive, emotional, inclusive, supportive, and stable. So let's see what it further says here for the great nurturer. The great nurturer is telling us further that, let's see, very sorry, I will find it now. Let's see. That's interesting. The great nurturer, the moon, is telling us, oh, here, sorry, number 22. It says, my mantra, I give and I receive nourishment, the soul's desire to be a channel for unconditional love, abundance, and growth. Purpose, to nurture growth and create community. Shadow, if you're overgiving, you're martyred, you're over emotional or over attached. So the great nurturer is a mother, teacher, humanitarian supporter, coordinator, gardener, problem solver, counselor, caregiver, and healer. When you embody this archetype, you're deeply in touch with the life pulse of humanity and the planet. Your conduit for unconditional love, patience, caring, and nourishment. Your first priority is to give substance and sustenance where it is needed to nurture life. You know you're on purpose when at the end of the day you know you've made a difference for someone. You're highly sensitive, feel the needs of the masses, and thrive on connection. You intuit what others need in order to grow and develop to the next level. You have a special gift for bringing people higher and can create your own flourishing community. As a nurturer, you are creatix, a female creator, or you have that female energy of creation. Like Mother Nature itself, when what you touch and pour your love into grows vibrant and strong, you tend to the garden of life. So here we go. So you sit with the garden of life, you go with the flow, the Tao, yeah, and divine abundance comes. And you do this through nurturing. It says, if you're playing the martyr now, if you're in the shadow of the great nurturer and believing that you have no choice to do but to do what's expected, you'll feel resentful and angry and isolated. So you're then connected to your feelings too intensely and profoundly. But when you carry the burden of other people's pain, this pain of the masses, pain of the planet, then you can become over emotional and even depressed. So again, go with the flow. Don't get too deep into into being emotional. Just kind of go with the flow. If you find yourself in the shadow, you are seriously undernourished. You need to feed your body, heart, and soul. So creative projects, good food, and also being around people that are not demanding will help you. And then you will then begin to feel filled again, full up again. The inspired action plan here is I nourish my body and soul first, so I may abundantly use my high value gifts to nurture others with exactly what they need to grow and do for themselves. So do the natural, help nurture others, but you have to do the natural for yourself. Go with the flow. Those are natural things that happen. The creativity, your intuition, as it says, will be able to guide you to what needs to be done, what you need for yourself and to help others. And again, we have the teacher. So accept that you are the teacher. Forget the imposter syndrome. Go ahead, go out and teach. Help others grow with their knowledge, and you also will grow with your knowledge. And this is how you can make that abundance. Do something that is teaching, helping others, teaching them, supporting them in learning and learning yourself. The administrator, you want to be abundant. Love for everybody leads you to give them parameters and then guide them step by step to doing what it is they can do to be also abundant and successful. So do this from not only just an earthly realm, but also the spiritual needs, understanding people's heart, minds, body, and soul all need the guidance, the direction. We have then the nurture, and divine abundance is here. We're basically speaking about not chasing the abundance. It's coming to you. It will be there for you. You go with the flow, the things that are natural, as far as taking care, nurturing not only yourself, but others, will be how you will be able to make the abundance in your life. So I hope everybody found something that they could work with for this moon so that you can bring abundance into your life, whether you're 1, 2, or 3. There's good guidance here for you to be able to work with. And I thank you again. Have a wonderful day filled with health, love, happiness, peace, and prosperity. Take care. Bye-bye.